Another weekly man slot was filled by our juvenile attempt to subvert Radio 4's Thought for the Day, whilst offering a sort of serious platform for our homosexual friends. Men's Hour's Thought for the Gay.
There's something I'd like to say. Let's call it my thought for the gay. I'd like to reflect on my sense of identity. 'Cause I am what I am, but I'm not what I'm meant to be.
Before going down the chute, our hero, Stephen, grabbed 2 beers and took to the airplane sound system and unleashed a barrage of R-rated expletives. I rise in defense of Mr. Slater and the dying art of the dramatic exit. Who amongst us would not have killed to do what Mr. Slater did? If only we knew how to pull the evacuation chute. If we did, the exit row would be the new first class.
I'm so angry that during the day I tell myself cheerful gay stories to get me going. Sadie and Becky meet in the street. My son's a financial whiz kid, says Sadie, with an office in the city. What's yours? Mine's a homosexual, sighed Becky. So where's his office? And someone blow sprayed on the wall. My mother made me a homosexual, and someone hopefully blow sprayed beneath it. If I gave her the wool, perhaps she'd knit me one too.
So this is what I have to say to those who say you're the wrong type of gay. You can be a bit butch and a bit Alan Carr. Just be who you are, wherever you are. You don't have to fit in with the crowd. Be a person, be happy, and be proud.
Thought for the Gay on Men's Hour. You're listening to the story of Men's Hour on 5 Live with me, Tim Samuels. And a highlight for a hypochondriac like me was our weekly chance to indulge the imminent fear of death and disease. 60-second hypochondria. And with the looming closure of NHS Direct, what better service to replace it than Dr. Mark Hamilton in Manchester, with questions you daren't ask your doctor. All right, your 60 seconds starts now. Is it wrong to drink your wife's breast milk?
Morally or medically wrong?
I'd like a medical answer.
No, medically, no. It's actually be pretty good for you. Morally, well, you know, whatever floats your boat.
Can you get someone pregnant by just slipping in for a little bit?
You can, actually, but you would be extremely unlucky. The chances of that happening are extremely, extremely remote.
Why do I poo more often at work than on holiday? Is that irritable bowel syndrome?
No, because irritable bowel... I suppose if it was a change in stress and it was linked to irritable bowel syndrome, then it is possible, but it could be something like a change in diet when you go on holiday.
How would I know if I'm pulling someone who used to be a man and has had a sex change?
Well, I suppose it depends on, if there's any external signs, like the jaw, the hands, the shoulders can sometimes give it away. But if there's none of that, and the sex change has been done really, really well, I think it would be extremely difficult to tell from the outside.
Can I catch anything from a public loo if my penis swings into the inside of the toilet bowl when I'm sat down?
I wouldn't worry.
It is extremely unlikely.
Do you get less of a beer belly drinking wine and spirits?
Well, in terms of the quantity, when you drink a pint of beer, it's about 200 calories. If you drink a glass of wine, it's about half that, mil per mil. Then wine would be more fattening, but beer is actually more fattening.
Mark, can you pass on hypochondria to your baby by fussing too much?
Yes, actually you can. It can be genetic, but actually they've done some studies and it shows that if you're over-concerned, then you can actually pass that on and cause hypochondriasis as an adult, so yeah.
I hope you're feeling better after listening to that. But of course, there was no helping me when Men's Hour producer John Holmes made me take some recording equipment on my blind internet date in Paris. Saturday night, 9 o'clock, just walking to a restaurant to meet her. But she's bringing along Philippe, one of her French mates from last night. I'd say that's a pretty bad omen. I think the lunge is going to be off. And turning up with this tape recorder probably ain't going to help things because she has no idea about that. So we'll see. Okay. So we've just been for dinner.
Yeah.
Just needed to prove that you exist.
Actually, I'm for real. That's definitely for sure.
Okay. How do you feel about me coming over from London for the weekend?
It was not. It was kind of a surprise and very nice, very spontaneous, very good.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Are you glad I came?
Yeah, I'm very glad.
Yeah. How do you think we've been getting on?
Not bad so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where could it be better?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah? Okay. Did you feel any chemistry here?
You always do the things to check about the chemistry. You always use a microphone to check about the chemistry thing.
How else do I check? How else could I check?
Definitely without a microphone.
Without a microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think I should stop recording?
Yes.
And I never saw her again, thanks John. The good news, though, is that Men's Hour will be back with a series of specials ahead of a full new series next year. So I may get another chance to meet an actual lady, rather than just Louie Spence in a low-cut T-shirt. Or Alexi Sale in a Che Guevara beret.
Hi, I'm Alexi Sale, and I went to Allsop Grammar School, which became comprehensive about halfway through my period there. And when I was in, I think it was the 5th or the 6th form, they announced that they were going to have a school council with representatives drawn from every year. And my classmates elected me. And so after a day or two, the teachers came back and told them to have another election. And again, they elected me. And then the class teacher came back, headmaster came back and told them to hold the election again. And then they finally twigged and they elected somebody else. And I felt it was my first experience of how parliamentary democracy is an illusion, and the state will always make its views preeminent. Comrades.
Alexi Sale on his school days from last night. But for now, Men's Hour is packing up its troubles in its modern man bag. But before we go, perhaps the one lingering question is whether all this emoting, with a veneer of banter, will have won over those female naysayers. After all, modern man is a sensitive creature, particularly when there's less body hair to hide behind. So now that the series is finished, it's back to Jan Moyer of The Mail, Gillian Reynolds of The Telegraph and PR guru Lynn Franks. See, women having the last word. This was Men's Hour. See you next time.
I do think women should listen because there's a lot they can learn. I mean, when you were all sitting around being honest with each other and talking about various fears you had about things and not taking the mickey out of each other, I thought there were valuable things that we could learn from men. There were things on it that really made me laugh. It's always interesting to hear men talking about men. I think any show that can get Andy McNab, Rod Liddle and Louie Spence in the same room talking about things that interest them is really worth listening to.
I've warmed to it. And I listened to last week's purely by accident, and I thought you were good, actually. I thought you learned a lot. I love 60-second Hypochondria. I think that's really good. I think Dr. Mark is terrific. That's something that could run and run.
From a female perspective, is it an interesting listen for women?
I don't think I'm your target audience. I mean, I've been married, I've had loads of lovers, I've got 3 sons. I know quite a lot about men. I'm not sure that you tell me anything I didn't know, except that I have learned bits about how your bodies function that I wasn't quite aware of before.
Having now listened to the content of the 2 shows, which was one on dating and one on the army, and I listened to them very intensely, I thought they were terrific. And listening to the man's point of view about dating, and particularly your gag on J-Date, which probably not so many, but certainly I thought was hysterical. I laughed a lot, and I thought it was great the way that you were able to have a little go at yourself with the dating thing. It was very funny. Louis was very funny about all that, and it was a great show. So you have a fan.
Officially have a Lynn Franks fan.
Officially, Lynn Franks is a member of your fan club, Tim, and of Men's Hour. Men do find it a lot harder to open up, as we all know, and to do it A, outside the pub, and B, off the golf course, where they can actually sit in a studio and really have to be open, because that's the style of the show, is a very, very healthy thing to do. Today's feminists, of course, I'm sure we're all behind you now, or alongside you, perhaps.
Men's Hour was created and presented by me, Tim Samuels. The production team were Dave Cribb, Charlotte Ross, Jane Greaves, Josh Twivey, Isabel Davis, Rose Walton and James Crawford. The producer was John Holmes and the executive producer was Gloria Abramoff. It was a Tonic production in association with Fresh One for BBC Radio 5 Live.
Actually, Tim, that wasn't a bad rehearsal, so we'll just do it for real now.
OK. Stand by.